Hey guys, just wanted to talk about scopes a little bit. Got a couple of questions on what scopes I use and what I like and that kind of thing. These here are the 3 long-range scopes that I have, and there's only one that I really like, and that's my Nightforce. But I won this Citron at the Nationals last year. I won it off the prize table, and some guys said it was a really good scope, but to be honest with you, I don't know, it's not very good. I can only see my bullet holes in a target out to 200 yards with this thing. Out to 300 I can't see them anymore. It's just the glass isn't good enough. I mean, it's got a big huge lens on there, but I don't know, the glass must not be that good, because I mean, I can't see nothing with the damn thing. So that's all I got to say about that. I mean, it's okay, I guess, if you want to go hunting or something like that, but if you're really competition shooting, you're really target shooting a lot, and you're trying to see your bullet holes out there, then it wouldn't be my first choice, let's put it that way. So as far as reticles go, this reticle is the long range MOA reticle, and all my scopes have like the holdover lines. I know a lot of guys don't like that stuff because it makes them too busy, but me, I really like it. Most of the shooting I do is in practice at my range, and I'm always using those holdover lines and windage lines and all that. I'm using them constantly. It's amazing when I get behind a reticle that doesn't have anything, I almost kind of feel lost because I don't realize how much I'm using those things, but I really do. So anyway, that's all I want to say about that. If I didn't have the ones with the holdover lines, I would probably just go to nice clean cross right in the middle. No dots. I don't like the dot. The dot seems to cover up the target too much. I can't see what's going on there. But if I have a fine, real fine, thin reticle line cross in there, then that would be the next best thing, I guess. If all I did was shoot competition at a long range and I didn't do any inside or any kind of holdover stuff that I do, then, you know, I would just go with the simple crosses. But personally, I don't really like the big dot. I know some guys do, but it's not my thing. So the second one I have is a Vortex Golden Eagle. It's kind of their long range competition scope. And I should say this first one, the Citron, it's made in China, and the next 2, the Vortex and Nightforce, they're both made in Japan. So I don't know if that makes a difference to you, but one way or another, that's where they come from. So the Vortex is a little bit better. It's a 15 to 60 by 52, and I can see out to 300 yards with this one. I can see my bullet holes. You know, unless the mirage is up really bad, then, you know, I can usually always see at my 300 yard practice range with this scope. So it works fine. And in competition, if you're shooting bench rest or just about anything else, during a match, you got your sighter period going on, and, you know, they're working the pits, they're pulling your target down, they're marking your shot, and you can see fine with these scopes. Where I have the troubles with them is when I'm in practice at my home range and I'm shooting out and I'm trying to do some low development and I can't see where my bullet holes are hitting out there. It just, you know, drives me crazy. So I realize nowadays they've got, you know, electronic targets and those types of things. I'll probably, instead of investing in another high dollar scope, probably go with an electronic target next time. So that way all my scopes will work, because, you know, if you got it right there on your tablet, right where you're impacted, you don't need to necessarily see your bullet holes at the target anymore. So none of these scopes will see my bullet holes out to 1,000 yards. So I'm relying on somebody at the pits, or I'm relying on when sighter period, they're marking your shots for you, or a lot of F-class matches, they're just running on electronic targets so you can see where your impact is. So all of these scopes are limited compared to what the electronics are starting to take over. So I'd really think a lot about that before I invest in another high dollar scope. I think if it's really good to have some, so when you go to the match you've got something good to look at. But you know, after you've got something that's working for you, you really want to start thinking about other things. You know, those shot markers are looking pretty good. You know, it'll measure your groups for you, it'll keep track of the order you shot your shots and the whole 9 yards, so they're pretty good. But back to this video about scopes. I don't mind the Golden Eagle. It doesn't have as good a glass as the Nightforce, but it's a good option for the price point. I think originally when I got this one it was 1,100 bucks, I think. Now I think they're closer to 1,600 bucks, you know, and if it was 1,600 bucks when I bought it, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but you know, I would just step up and get the Nightforce. I mean, the Nightforce all day long retails for $2,400, so, and you can usually find them used or on a discount or something somewhere with your accurate shooter and get them, beat that price, usually somewhere around a couple $1,000. So, but instead of paying $1,600 for this, I would look for a deal on a Nightforce, because with the Nightforce, it's my favorite scope. And the reticle I've got, I don't know if you can see it, but it's the FCR1. Let me put that up, maybe it'll come in on there, I'm not sure, but it's got the cross, but it's also got your holdover marks. And like I said, I use those holdover marks all the time. It's amazing how much I use those things. And, you know, don't think about it until they're there, and I go, wow, where'd my marks go? Because a lot of times when I shoot at a target, I don't even have any spots to shoot. I just put a blank piece of paper up there, and my first shot becomes my aim point. And so that's kind of the way, and a lot of times I'm measuring over like a line or two, and that's where I know I'm shooting the next shot, and it keeps everything spaced out. And I do all that with my reticle. I don't, half the time I don't even put, sometimes I do. A lot of times, you know, if I'm doing a powder test, I try to line it out really good to keep everything nice and straight. But if I'm just doing seating depth tests or neck tension tests or stuff like that, a lot of times I just use the scope. And so I really like those holdover marks. They really work good for me. But this Nightforce, if it's a crystal clear day, I can see out to 600 yards. You know, my bullet holes impacts. If you're using an NBSR target where you got the blue center in the middle, I can't see them in the blue. But if I'm in the white, I can see them. So if I'm practicing, I just turn my targets around backwards so I don't have any blue. And I'm just shooting in the white, and I can put all my aim points on the white piece of paper, and I can see my impacts that way. And so, you know, you can't do that in a match, of course, but in a match, you got somebody down in the pits and they're spotting your shots for you, so you don't have to worry about it during a match. But realistically, I mean, it's got to be a perfect crystal clear day to see my bullet holes at 600 yards. It works really good out to 500 yards. I can almost always see them at 500, unless it's really, mirage comes up really hard, then maybe I can't. But at first thing in the morning when it's calm and it's clear and the mirage hasn't hit in yet, you can see 500, 550 really easy, and even out to 6 if conditions are good. So as far as clarity, the Nightforce has these other ones beat by leaps and bounds. It just got really nice glass in there. But of course, when I bought these, I think I paid close to $2,000 for the Nightforce, and I paid $1,100 for the Vortex, so it was double the money, but I got double the clarity and I could see twice as far. So but would I go out and buy another one? Yeah, I would. If this one breaks, I like this one so much, especially for shooting competitions, I'd go get another one, because I just really like it. Now, if you don't like all the holdover marks, Nightforce, I think they have 4 different reticles for this one. You can get just plain old crosshairs inside the reticle. Thin, fine crosshairs, no dots, no holdover marks, no anything. I think that's the CTR-3. So if you're looking at Nightforce somewhere, check out the CTR-3. That's just fine crosshairs, you know. No orange, no big dots, none of that. I don't know. a lot of guys like that, but me, it seems like those dots take up, I want to shoot a little finer than that, you know. 1,000 yards, you're looking at a dot, and the dot's covering up the whole 10 ring. It's like, well, shoot, you know, I want to point it right in there. I don't want to just aim in a general direction. I want a fine crosshair right where I want to aim. So that's just me, the way I do things. I know some guys that just really love the Vortex Golden Eagle for competition, but myself, I prefer the Nightforce. It's just a little bit better scope, a little nicer, but it'll cost you twice as much too. So, but like I said, once you've got some scopes and they're working for you, you can see way out there, no problem, if they're marking your targets for you. So maybe you don't necessarily need to buy such a high dollar one. I bought these before really electronic targets got to be popular like they are now. So I've had these for a few years, and now that the shot markers look so good, I'm really considering buying one of those just for those big mirage days that I can't see a darn thing out there. So a lot of my practice is at 300 yards, and I can see fine with my Nightforce, but these other ones, they get all fuzzed out and I can't see a darn thing. So if I got the shot marker, it would solve all of that. But anyway, that's about all I have to say on those. I really like the holdover marks, yeah, Nightforce, the best one. Golden Eagle, second best, and the Citron down there, I don't know what to say about that one. I wouldn't rush out and buy that one. I won that one off the prize table, but now that I know how it is, I wouldn't rush out and buy it. But to each their own, I guess. So that's enough on that one. Thanks.